Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy Jack, or Nobledez, and welcome to the very first episode of the Crossover Corner. Today I'm being joined by my co-host, Hype Monster, or Blake.
Hi guys.
And today, in our first episode, we're having our special guest be oPryzeLP, Matt.
What's going on?
If you're subscribed to my channel, you have to know who he is. He's pretty much the whole reason we even have a modding community here for Minecraft Console Edition.
Thank you, Noble.
What's up, guys?
That's very true.
How's everyone doing today?
I'm doing good. I have had a good sleep schedule for like 2 weeks. Everything's been going great. Because
yeah.
like that's the thing that kills it.
I wish I could say
not
the
sleeping.
same.
Really?
What's the sleep schedule?
Yeah, I've been going to
goodness.
sleep at like...
If you have never messed up your sleep schedule, you've never... It's just been awful. I always go to sleep at like 7 a.m., wake up at like 6 p.m. consistently.
Oh man.
It's crazy.
There's
no consistency.
I've never messed it up that bad, but...
Oh no, that's like my normal for like all of 2017.
Yeah, see, I work late, so I come home around like 12, and then I want to watch YouTube or whatever, so I stay up till like 3, and then, you know, I don't wake up till like late.
Over the summer, my sleep schedule was actually really good, and then school comes and now it's like all jacked up. I go to bed around like 12 or 1, but I still wake up at 4 and 5, between 4 and 5.
Well, that's what I was gonna think that school would keep you having a schedule, like because you have to get up.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would assume that it surprised me. I would think that would be the time that everything would be normal.
Yeah,
last year I did a lot of forced resets where I'd stay up all night and then all day, so I'd be able to fall asleep whenever I want.
Is so hard.
Actually, I mean, I'd say it's a little easier when you have school because you're kind of forced to stay up. You don't have the option of, oh, should I just give up and go to sleep?
Dude,
but
I passed out in school.
Yeah, I used to sleep in my
no
classes.
shame, snored through everything. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I was asleep. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. When I was in college, I decided to pick classes that were early in the morning because you know how you have some freedom over what you can pick and when, you know, what time of the day. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do it right. I'm really gonna do it. I'm gonna set make it so I have to get up at 9. You know, not at 9, but I have to be at school at 9, which means I have to get up somewhat early-ish in the morning, right? I can't wake up at noon. I just didn't go to class consistently. I mean, straight up. You really have to like work your life around your natural sleep schedule. I truly believe that.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, so you
some
consider
people
yourself a night owl, right?
Oh, totally. I mean, there's some people that just are naturally one way. I absolutely believe that. If I want to go outside, I want to go outside when it's dark. I don't know why. Maybe it's because there's fewer people outside or something. It's just easier to go outside when there's no one there. Although the cops look at you funny.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've like rode my bike.
Like when it comes to sleep schedule, I don't know if I'm a night owl or an early worm because I like getting up early, but I also like staying up late. Like last year, I would constantly go to bed around midnight, and I'd still wake up like at 4 every morning. And it messed me up, like, massive.
Well, you know what they say, though? Whoever they are, they say that because a long time ago, there was something called polyphasic sleep. And I don't know how true this is. Well, polyphase, many phase. You could sleep not just once a night, but apparently it was normal for people to wake up in the middle of the night. And that's why there's a word for it. I can't remember where I heard this. I probably heard it on another podcast. But that was just the norm to, you know, wake up in the middle of the night for a couple hours and have a nap in the middle of the day. The only reason that's no longer the case is because people are now working in the day, every day. And that's why it's changed. So now it's expected you have to sleep for 9 hours straight right here and then be awake for the rest of it. If you eradicate that part of your life, like what I did for, I mean, we're talking like a year and a half straight where I'm in the same chair coding non-stop, where I don't even have windows. I can't even see what time of day it is. I naturally went into polyphasic sleep, where I would sleep when I'm tired, wake up, and I felt normal, but it just ruined everything else. Obviously. Because the world expects you to be awake during the day.
Have you ever woken up, like, the next night?
Oh, all the time. I mean, I would wake up, no idea what it is. I would look at, it'd say 8 on the clock. I had no idea if that's PM or AM at all. Because it's always kind of like, you know, the light's kind of halfway there. So yeah, it was a nightmare. And then obviously the day before, my mom's like, "Hey, Matt, you have to do this thing," and I'm like, this sucks. So I mean, we're talking. I rake the leaves with a flashlight on my rake because I do it at night. I swear to you. I made a snowman at 1 a.m. because it was snowing. I wanted to make a snowman, but it was too late. I'm not even joking.
I mean, it's cooler at night too.
Yeah, that's true. Well, see, I'm living in Ohio, so I don't like the cold at all.
Oh yeah.
So totally backwards.
oPryzePaul.
What do you mean?
oPryzeLP.
Oh, dude, he lives, or not lives. Westlake High School is like 20 minutes, not even, less than 20-minute drive from here. I mean, I actually just passed it today.
Or what, Logan Paul's? Or Paul's grew up
Yeah,
there?
he used to go to high school, like, over there. I mean, our high school football team used to, like, you know, compete with them and everything.
So you probably actually, well, I don't know if you played any sports or anything, but your school
I did
faced
not.
off against them at some point?
Yeah, all the time. It was so
pretty
weird
cool.
because afterwards I learned that, and I was like, I don't know if I want to start telling people that.
How people
Hey,
think
do you
you're
know
leeching.
I was right next to Logan Paul? Everyone's gonna be like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Not really, I don't know if that's a good thing. You know, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Like, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, you know, Northeast Ohio. But there's another part of me that's like, it's also the Paul brothers. I think it's cool. I mean,
Speaking of the
whatever
Paul
you say
brothers.
about them.
The fight. What about the fight? Did y'all watch that?
Yeah, I watched it.
I watched part of it.
Part of it. Did you see that? Did you pay
Yeah,
$10?
I watched part of it too.
Or did you
No.
watch like the?
No,
You
everyone
didn't?
just streamed it on Twitch. No,
Dude,
everyone just restreamed it on Twitch. Obviously, I mean,
I didn't think you'd be able to do that. I actually paid the $10 to watch
I mean,
it.
you're not supposed to, obviously, but people do it. Yeah.
You paid 10. All right.
I thought they were gonna be really strict on it. Like there'd be no way to
No,
bypass
well, that's what
it.
they said. That's what Jake said. He's like, if you do this, your channel's gonna be destroyed. And everyone just went on Twitch. I mean, there were like 14 streams of it. People, you'd go to the Fortnite section, be the Jake Paul fight, Logan Paul fight. It's like, that was the easiest way to get around it. Call it Fortnite, and there you go.
Well, did they get
No,
banned?
no,
You think?
No,
The people who did it? Huh.
no, they didn't care. What's Twitch gonna do? I mean, they couldn't do anything. It's not through YouTube.
Well, I mean, copyright.
If they do
stuff, I'm
anything,
not
they
sure
do
how
it
that works.
later. But they don't have any control over that. The only thing they did do was there was a, you know how there's all the games for every type of game, it's like a category. They had one called The Fight, and that's where everyone started putting their videos. Well, Twitch took that down, so then everyone just went to the Fortnite section instead and just watched it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I watched it. There's a debate amongst my friends over who won. I think it's unpopular, but I'm gonna say I really do think Logan Paul won. I thought he was going to win, which everyone thought KSI was gonna wipe the floor with it. What are your thoughts? I have a lot of thoughts about that. What do you think about
I
it?
actually agree. I watched it and like it seemed like Logan Paul got in like more clean hits, and I really thought Logan Paul was gonna win. KSI seemed like really worn out, especially the first couple rounds. And
No,
I guess
think
like
reversed. I think Logan got worn out, but I think Logan got more hits in sooner. Plus, KSI punched him after the bell.
twice.
And that's got to count for something. I didn't know it was twice. But yeah, I mean, that's got to count for something. But ignoring all that, you know what someone said? They said during the rematch, KSI is going to wipe the floor with Logan. And I think that's absolutely false. And here's why. KSI has been saying for a long time that he is going to be a real professional boxer. That was his thing. This was not just like, oh, YouTube. I'm sure there's part of that. But he was saying, I'm going to be a boxer. If this works, I'm going into boxing. This is what I'm doing. By YouTube, I'm a boxer now, right? And he's been training and working at this, and this is his dream, okay? This is what he wants to do. He has Logan, who doesn't even care, okay? Doesn't even care about boxing. Had like a couple months to train, if you want to call it that. Train for it. And they were, I mean, if you want to say it the best, it was an even match, a draw, if you want to really call it that. How in the world is KSI going to improve any more than he already has improved for himself? He thinks he's a professional now, whereas Logan doesn't even care. If there's any room for improvement, it's on Logan's side. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Besides, Logan has a history with wrestling, and he's always been super athletic in that area. So I understand wrestling is totally different than boxing.
Yeah.
But there's a part of it where you stand a certain way, you got the reflexes, you know what you're doing, and there's always that part of it. You know, that psychological part that I'm willing to work and train at something.
So what are you saying? You don't think KSI is going to be able to go professional, or do you just think he's not gonna?
I'm saying no. He might be able to in some other dimension, but he cannot win the next fight against Logan solely because in order for one of them to win, one of them has to improve, right? I mean, either they get worse, maybe, but one of them has to get better. So that means they have to train, and one person has to get better. KSI already thinks he's pro. he has already trained to be where he is, and he's already at what he thinks is his peak for the most part. Sure, he thinks he can get a little better, but he's like, I'm there. I'm a professional now. Who can I fight?
So it's a mental
Whereas
thing.
Logan,
No.
yeah, Logan didn't even care. And then he's like, I mean, they just want to sell merch. And even with that, it was a draw. If he actually cares this time, and he says, wow, okay, I actually have a chance against KSI, they're just going to train again, and there you go. By the way, I'm sure everyone knows this, the rematch was already scheduled before the fight.
Yeah, it was already confirmed.
So,
Not the
I mean,
rig,
there's
though,
a part of me that's like, I bet this was orchestrated, but it doesn't really matter who wins because they were still going to do the rematch. But yeah, I mean, that's basically, we can go on and on and on forever about it, but that's what I think.
I hate to say it, but I kind of agree. Even though in the beginning I wanted Logan Paul to lose, I really wanted KSI to win because I was just kind of on that side of YouTube where it's like screw the Pauls, but KSI kind of turned himself into the bad guy.
I don't care at all. You have to understand that another part of it, and this is, people are not going to like this, but there was very clearly a United States versus UK thing in this fight. There was. Yeah. It was hosted in the UK. There was flags everywhere. Everyone was talking about KSI's representing, you know, whatever versus, and it's like I'm actually surprised at how many people were rooting for KSI. Americans were rooting for KSI. And not that you have to. I'm not saying it doesn't matter where you're from, obviously, but they made such a big deal out of KSI being the UK. You know, this is who the UK. It just shocked me that everyone was so against it. So against Logan, I guess.
Didn't KSI have the UK flag as his little get-up thing?
Yeah, he was wearing it. I mean, but no one really talks about that. It's always just, oh, KSI versus Hit Logan. Yeah, Logan made this video this one time, but it's like, you know, you have to understand that if he loses, that in their eyes, that's them beating United States, which I know is kind of ridiculous. That obviously wasn't the main part of the fight, obviously. But I just thought that was just kind of interesting. I thought, you know what would be great? If we wanted someone to really represent the United States, who would we go? And I thought of the perfect person, okay? He's Keemstar.
The Scarce challenged him, and Keemstar just said, I think he said, I'm too old, not fighting anyone, or something like that.
Yeah,
I think that it would have been cool to watch. I thought Ricegum was going to box someone, and that's what, like, I was really hyped to see Ricegum actually fight someone, but then I found out after that I guess he canceled or found an excuse not to. But
yeah,
speaking of Ricegum too, I'm like jumping subjects here, but Scarce, does anyone else feel sorry for him?
No. No, I didn't think there was anything to feel sorry about. I thought he was fine.
He was just like, he was like a boxing, or not, he was like a punching bag, and it felt cringy to see Scarce get beat up.
He doesn't say he's a fighter. No, I think it's great that he did it. I mean, because you could tell when he first took his shirt off, he was tucking his stomach in. He's obviously had a problem with weight. He's been trying to lose weight, and he actually said yes to something like this in front of that many people. There were a million people watching live versus all the people afterwards, that stream at some point. So there's so many people watching that, and he's clearly at his most vulnerable when his shirt's off, and he just did it. And I don't think there's a lot of people that can do that.
He lost like over 100 pounds, didn't he?
Yeah, I saw the comparison with like how much weight he lost and everything, and he made a lot of progress just for the boxing match. He actually did really good for himself. I'm just saying, I felt bad, like with every hit I saw him take, like it made me cringe because like Scarce is such a, like, he seems like such a genuine cool guy, and just kind of got beat. But
so guys scares you. So, you know, that reminds me, have you ever done a meetup, Noble?
Oh wait, what was that? You kind of lagged for a sec.
I said, have you ever done a meetup? You ever like done a meetup with anyone?
A meetup? Like, in what context? Fans?
I mean, if you ever, have you ever said like, hey, I want to meet up with this YouTuber, I want to meet up with this, you know, if you want to do like a fan meetup or anything. Have you ever actually met someone in real life that knows you originally only through YouTube?
Sadly, no. I wish. I mean, I have on, like, on Wii U, I've joined random battle lobbies, and people will see the skin, they'll hear me, and I've actually had people recognize me.
That's cool.
Maybe like 2 or 3 times, and one of them I think I actually got recorded in one of the trolling videos, and I thought that was really cool to see these people that I joined random lobbies with just know who I am. It's a cool feeling, so I think it'd definitely be a lot cooler in real life.
See, because I'm actually like really nervous to do that if I ever wanted to actually meet up with someone in real life. Now, I met up with Broadbent. We took a trip to New York, and that was amazing.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I saw
it was
on Twitter.
Amazing. It was so nice to like meet someone that we've never actually met, but we just carried on the conversation we had. You know what I mean? It was so interesting. It had a great time, but I I'm a germaphobe. Are you a germaphobe at all?
I
don't think I'm a germaphobe.
No.
I think I'm normal. I think everyone else is just nuts. Like, it's crazy.
That's why you didn't get a Wii U. The whole germ thing.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Because if I were to buy a Wii U, that's very true. If I was to buy a Wii U, I'd not spend $300 on it, wherever it was. I was going to get it used. But I didn't want to get it used because it's just some 7-year-old that sneezed on it every day. It's like, I really don't want to touch that.
It's funny you say that because I got my Wii U used, and the joysticks actually had like this orange layer, this orange layer of stuff on it.
Oh my god!
I had to clean it a lot, but I mean, it saved money. It was used.
God.
That's all I really cared about was saving money.
Just
I can't do it.
Just throw some Lysol on it.
Yeah, I met up with Caustic down in Florida, and that was really, really cool. And he quickly learned. I didn't really tell anyone. He quickly learned how much of a germaphobe I was. I mean, I can't touch food if anyone else touched it, or I can't eat food if anyone's touched it. I won't touch other people's food under any circumstance. You want ice? Okay, well here you can get it yourself because I'm not touching it.
Do you eat at restaurants?
I eat at restaurants, but nothing can touch the table. If I get the ketchup,
do you know how many people touch your food before it gets on your table, though?
Well, I try not to think about it. But
how do they make your sandwiches?
A lot of people. Well, they watch you do it. And they have gloves on.
Yeah, they have gloves.
They watch
just
you.
Had Subway today. I watch them. I just went to Subway today, and I'm okay doing that because I can see what they do, you know.
Right.
But
you don't know where the gloves have been.
Except this one time, this one girl sneezed, and I was like, "Can you change the gloves?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." And I'm like, "Okay, good." Because you were about to just do that. But one thing, if anyone's a germaphobe watching right now, or anyone's like on the verge that people call them a germaphobe all the time, there's one thing that always goes unnoticed, and I bet there's people that are like me that notice this. When you're at a restaurant, you know how they have the ketchup on the table?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how many? You think they clean that? Do you know how many people just go up and touch that?
Oh, I work at Buffalo Wild
Not even think about it. They'll go to the restroom, they'll
that.
wash their hands, they'll make an active effort to wash their hands, and they'll come back and they'll grab the ketchup just like that. And it's been sitting there. They don't clean them because, you know, they put it out there, and then they use it and they throw it out. So it's like, always pick up your ketchup with a napkin. Come on, that hard.
Have you ever worked in like any kind of food business, oPryze?
I have, one day.
As a host, waitress, cook, or
the worst position for me ever, dishwasher. Okay, one day I was in, I was out, crying. I'm not even kidding.
Did you go back
to
eat?
No, that was the worst experience I think I've ever had.
Where? What restaurant?
It was an upscale steak restaurant. And I watched this one day, went back the next day. I was like halfway through it, and I'm like, I can't.
So you just made disgusting. Like maybe around $50 at most that day.
I made 80.
80, and that was your paycheck.
Yeah,
just $80?
I was above minimum wage when I first got there, and I didn't even care. I was like, it's fine. I'll just take my YouTube cents, and that's it.
Yeah. I worked at IHOP, and like if you saw how they handled food and stuff behind the scenes at IHOP, you would never want to go to IHOP.
I don't eat at IHOP. I don't eat at IHOP. I walked in there, smelled it, walked out. I don't.
I work at Buffalo Wild Wings, and they're pretty good about like cleanliness. At least at my location.
Well, it usually depends on the workers, like how much they actually care about their job.
It really does depend on the location.
And with mine, like I worked graveyard on the weekends, so I would deal with like drunk workers, or not drunk workers, like angry oil-filled workers. I deal with drunks getting out of the bars because the bars close like around midnight. I deal with people eating breakfast at night because they don't know what they're doing with their lives. I deal with like all the bad people.
Well, you know, Broadman works at a bar. He's a bartender.
Oh, he still has a job. I thought he quit.
No, you're right. He quit, but he was a bartender for a long ass time. He got into a fight actually one time, which was funny.
Did he win?
But
That's
no,
what I was
he didn't
gonna.
win. He was a bitch about it. We made fun of him for it, so he's fine. He's been through it already. No, he's good. But I got a story to tell you about germs that's like the worst ever. Okay, so I'm at a grocery store with my mom, right? I don't remember why I was there with my mom. I don't really ever go with her, but this was recent too. I was there with her for some reason. I don't remember why, but anyway. And we're at the deli counter, okay, where you get the cheese and everything. And they had this little plate up there with all the cheese cubes, you know, because if you want to have some free cheese, like a sample, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not just gonna go and grab it with my fingers, because what if my finger accidentally touches a piece of cheese? Then someone else might eat that. That would be inconsiderate. So there's a toothpick. So there's a little cup of toothpicks, okay? So I pick up a toothpick, and I, pick up the cheese, eat it. Success. Now I want another piece of cheese. So I don't just, stab another piece of cheese with the same side of the toothpick that my mouth was on, because what if it accidentally touches another piece of cheese? So to be considerate, I switch the toothpick around. Okay? I'd go get my second piece of cheese, eat it. Wow, that was great cheese. Hey, Mom, do you see a trash can anywhere? Where can I throw out my toothpick? And she goes, oh, right there, this little cup. And I said, no, that's the cup where you throw, you get your toothpicks from. So where do I throw it out? She goes, no. There's a toothpick dispenser right here. That's the trash cup. And I was like, my heart started racing. I'm just freaking out, right? I realized I just used a toothpick from the used toothpick trash container. And I'm like, what? I'm freaking out. And you have to understand, this was the time when Ebola had its thing. And there was someone that's like everyone knows there was someone like 30 minutes away from their house that had Ebola or something. I'm freaking out at this point, right? And this old lady, super nice, turns around, she goes, well, you have a 50% chance that you didn't use the side that someone else did. And I said, I used both sides. And that was it. So that's my story about the toothpick. That's like the worst ever. It's crazy.
That was back in 2013, 14? Now Ebola was a thing?
That was like a couple of years ago. Yeah. Oh, the Ebola thing? Maybe it was longer. It was like a few years ago, at least.
Yeah. What'd you do? Did you throw up, gag, wash your mouth?
I felt sick, but I got over it. I just hoped. I mean, I just think about that, dude. There's some, and the person that was using that toothpick, no way in hell they're a supermodel. That was some super overweight dude that just picked his teeth and just ate something nasty. That's the one I got. Okay, there could have been a whole bus full of cheerleaders. I got the ugly old homeless guy one. We all know that. I mean, that's just fact.
Remember like a little kid who picked his nose and grabbed the toothpick?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And I just couldn't believe that she said, hey, well, you have a 50% chance you can use it. And I'm like, I used both sides like an idiot.
That luck is perfect.
Yeah, bad luck.
What about you, Blake? You got any stories?
Not that I could think of right now.
Some people don't care. They don't care at all about the germs thing. I don't understand it. For me, it's almost exclusively just food.
So
what about a drink?
Would you drink after family or something?
Yeah, if they drunk out of it, I won't have it, no matter what.
Would it waterfall?
No.
Wait, not even.
Well, because you think they waterfalled it the whole time? They obviously put their mouth on it, and now that spit combines with the waterfall water. Next thing you know, I have AIDS. I mean, I'm not risking that for what? A sip of water? I'll wait.
Yeah, I remember at IHOP, graveyard shift, we were dealing with all the bad people, and most of the people I worked with just didn't even care. There was this one girl, she's been on the graveyard shift so long that her left eye is always halfway closed, and it looks like she partially has two black eyes, even though it's just her. She was actually genuinely messed up from the night shift. But wow. I mean, she was really cool and all. It's just the night shift, and
yeah.
I remember I went to the back room to grab some food, and one of the pancakes fell off the little plate thing, and I said do I make the cook make another, or do I put it on? She just grabbed it with her hand, slapped it on.
Oh my god, dude!
I win.
Oh, speaking of stuff like that, my brother's friend used to work at KFC. And he dropped some chicken onto the ground or something, and he threw it in the trash can, and his boss said, no, don't fucking
my god,
don't throw that
that's
shit
a
away.
health violation.
And so he told him to get it out of the trash can and refry it. And so he fucking took it out of the trash can and refried it.
Doesn't it frying it kill the germs, cooking or frying something to heat?
Now you're eating dead germs.
I mean,
but it was still on the floor. It doesn't make it any better.
It's we fried poop. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was on the floor and in the trash
sterile.
can.
It's I don't care if it's sterile. It's dead poop now. Great. I'm eating dead poop. It's why would I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not that big of a germaphobe, but I mean, I'd still waterfall and do regular things like that. And I mean, not to belittle you or make you seem like you're not regular, but I mean.
No, I understand that I'm a little crazy about it. I just can't get past it.
I mean, there's
if
definitely.
we're
people
out
that
at a
are more
restaurant
crazy.
somewhere and they have bread, you know, they never fully cut it. They cut it halfway. So at some point you have to rip it. I swear my heart rate goes up because I don't know how to do it. Because it's not just me not wanting to eat food that other people touched. I don't like touching other people's food because I feel like it's inconsiderate to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like I won't want to touch their piece of bread while I'm trying to rip it to get mine.
Well, speaking
so
of that, have you ever eaten at a Mexican restaurant? You know they got chips in the middle of the table.
Yes, always have a separate plate.
So do you like pour your chips into a separate thing and let everyone have their own?
I never eat out of the bag because I hate it. I see my mom, she reaches her hand in there and I'm like, hello, you just touched your mouth with your fingers. Now you're digging in. You put your hand in, you feel 500 chips, you grab 3. It's like, hello. Might as well just spit into the bag. It's like, yeah. Great. I mean, there's so many things that when you really think about it, you're like, wait a minute, that actually makes sense.
Yeah, I never really thought of it like that, to be honest.
I mean, like ice, people get you ice. I remember I was at my grandma's house and she was gonna, she's like, you want ice? And she has it in her fingers, right? And I'm about to drop it in my glass. And I'm like, oh, no. It drops it in. I'm like, okay. And then me and my sister just looked at each other and laughed. And what am I going to do? Fish him out? Be like, ugh! No, I had to drink it. It was, like, tough. But I got through it. I'm okay. I can get through it. Whatever. So what's been going on? I saw you grow out your hair a lot. I mean, been growing it for a while, huh?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Actually, no, I just got a haircut recently. It's a little shorter than usual. Like, usually when I get a haircut, on the sides, I'll get, like, a 4 or 3 cut, have it fade down to a 0, and I'll get, like, an inch or 2 off the top.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, now what I'm doing differently is I used to, like, straight up just put my hair all the way back, kind of like how you do it, and it would get annoying because when it gets long, it would, like, the hair would start wrapping over the back of your head, you know, and I really hated that. So what I'm doing now is my hair actually just goes completely forward. Like, the front goes a little backwards, but, like, for the most part, it goes forward. So,
yeah,
it might look shorter. It's just less annoying now.
Well, because I noticed, I mean, there's clearly been an evolution on your channel with your hair. I mean, you go to your stream overlay, you've got your hair on it. I mean, it's just, everything is your hair, you know what I mean? So I noticed, I thought you're like, it's that. Because do you watch Bluemon on YouTube?
Bluemon? No.
Wow, okay, because he's the guy that really brought the disconnected undercut to the mainstream. I mean, millions of views on his videos. And that's what, you walk outside, everyone's got that haircut. Fade on the side, long on top. That's just how it is, like, across the board. At least not what I've noticed about that. I got so fed up with it because when you don't do your hair, because, you know, when you have your hair like that, you have to do your hair. You can't let it go, especially with mine, because mine's long on top, right? But it's to the side, which means the left side is blended, the right side's disconnected. So if you don't do your hair that day, one side of your hair is 4 inches long, the other side is an inch, you'll look stupid, always. And that's always the time when someone rings the doorbell, when you haven't done your hair. So I'm always like, oh, it's crazy. So I actually, just last week, I was like, cut it all off. And they practically buzzed my head. So I mean, it was still, it was like a 4 on top, I'd say, and then like a fade on the sides. But like
4 on top?
Yes. I mean, I was so fed up with it. I was so fed up with long hair. And I think that is the new thing. I bet you. Because here's the thing with hair is that, and it's what I think, it has to be unique. Otherwise, who cares? In my opinion. Otherwise, you're just like, it's just a normal haircut. So as soon as the disconnected undercut with 4 inches long on top becomes normal, which it is now, you gotta do something different. And I think everyone's gonna cut their hair short.
Yeah,
so that's what
people have to move back again.
They're gonna have to move back. Yeah. So now my hair goes forward, it goes to the side. I have to go the other side, the other direction, and it's short. And I like it so much better. So
I've experimented with different things. Like the way I originally had it was my hair. I would just put it up because I used to just cut all my hair short. And the first time I actually grew it out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try this. And I remember getting all prepared. I was like watching this video like on how to choose the right hairstyle for your head shape and all this stuff. And
it might have been
I wanted to get it
Bluemon.
right. No, it was Alpha M, I think.
Oh,
Have you heard of him? Yeah, it was Alpha M, and I ended up coming to the hairstyle I have now, and I remember the stylist. She styled it for me, and she kind of just put it up, and it looked really good.
Oh my god.
The next day I tried doing it myself, and I just couldn't do it at all.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of time that has to go into it until you learn everything about it. It's a journey. It's a serious journey. Like, do you do anything?
No, my hair is really simple. I got a medium skin fade with finger length on the top, and I just comb it to the left.
You know what? I wish that like 4 years ago, if you walked anywhere and said do a fade on the side, no idea what you're talking about. Across the board, it was impossible. And I was gonna tell Noble, like, you go to these places, it's always just some girl that, you know, this is her college. She's working on the side with college. They don't care about hair.
That's true.
If you try to tell them do a fade, they'll just do a 3 all the way up. They have no idea what you're talking about at all. It was such a hassle for the longest time trying to get a simple fade. You see it on every YouTube video. Can't do it. Go to a real barbershop with not a guy that's 70 years old, with someone that's in their 20s, because the only reason a guy in their 20s is working at a barbershop is because they're actually passionate about hair. I truly believe that. Because if you just need a job and you're a guy, you go landscape. You go do something else like that. You know what I mean? But to specifically go for that specific trade, they have to care, at least a little bit. More so than just, you know, the girl at Best Cuts.
And it seems like every girl nowadays has a cosmetology thingamajigger.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you walk into Best Cuts, there's 14 people working there. You go to a barbershop, there's 3. And that tells you something, you know?
I'm always really specific so they can't mess it up. Like whenever I say a fade, I never say just fade. I'll say like fade 3 or 4 to a 0.
That doesn't matter. And you know what the problem is? You can get as specific as you want, but the next time you go in there, it's someone else, and you have no idea how they do it. You know what I mean? There's no consistency. With barbershop, that's Carl. That's where I get my hair cut, and he knows it every time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a difference with that even.
Yeah, that's what's good about him.
It's true. And the thing is, though, a good barber, you don't have to be specific. They see your face shape, they see your hair type, they go, oh, this looks good on them. And they can just do it. And that's what I love about it. The first time I went to this real barbershop, which is a long drive, it's like an hour drive, but totally worth it. Walked in, I said, I want a fade. I said, okay. Best haircut I've ever had in my life. And I was like, this is incredible.
An hour drive for a haircut? Jesus.
I'm not sure if I have any barbers where I'm at. I always go to the same like salon. And I've had the luck of having the same person do my haircut a few times in a row, so...
You can go on, and I just went to Google, and this is going to sound weird, okay? But try to find the most liberal city in your area, okay? So there's every city has like a general trend, you know, like their politics, like their right wing or left wing. And what I have found, and I'm not saying this in any sort of like, not a judgmental way at all. I've literally been to almost every haircut place around here. I mean, for years, just in general, as I'm growing up, just trying to find a place that can do a decent haircut. And there's, I don't know what it is. I think the people over there, they're just way more in tune with modern, you know, hairstyles. They can just do it. They just can. I mean, versus the soccer moms at Best Cuts, they don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? So I think that was one way to do it. Just go to your local map and just look for, on Google Maps, type in barbershop, you know, 1 hour radius, and just look for stuff. That depends on how much you care, I guess, about it.
Well, are they younger there?
They're like, I would say like the youngest is like 25, oldest is 30.
Yeah, so they probably, like, when they went to school for it, they probably taught them like
exactly
newer
the
stuff.
People that go to school for that are like that are people that really care. They're not just in it for the minimum wage job. They want this to be their trade. You know, this is what they do. And that's what I think. Now, I haven't had that much experience with it, but you know, that's just what I generally think about it. But anyway, enough about hair. I was just
Actually, you know what we need?
What?
A hair mod tool. You can set no grow to true.
Oh my god.
Never get a haircut again.
That's exactly what we need.
I wish.
Well, I actually have a list of topics here, and one thing I completely forgot about this because I'm not even really involved in MC communities much anymore, but what do y'all think about the final update? I actually haven't updated any of my consoles yet, so I don't even have the update at all, but I imagine you guys do. How was it for a final update for console?
Well, so far, I've heard negative things.
Negative in terms of bugs?
Yes.
Or
yes.
Only bugs?
Well, problems with mods that used to exist. GRF files aren't loading for some reason. I have to look into that. People with teleporters, all their worlds crash. Something with villager trades are crashing now. I feel like there's all these things that we took for granted that are now gone. There's a part of me that likes the stableness of the game. And you can, you know, we say, oh, this feature doesn't exist and this is something we can't do, but hey, Now we know this. Let's work around it. But as soon as they shoot out an update, everything goes out the window. You got to start over. And I am so happy that this is the last update.
Well, I mean,
Like,
they need a bug fix update, obviously. I think there's going to be a few
but
more.
they're not going to fix the bugs that pertain to
Well, they have in the
our
past.
queries about mods. Not inadvertently. They've never really said, oh, because this breaks part of oPryze's mod tool, let's send out an update.
Well, never directly
Yeah,
with your
true.
tool,
They've never
but
done
in
that.
terms of mods, I think it was 4J Steve. Stealthy, don't quote me on this, I'm just going off memory, but I think Stealthy convinced 4J Steve to fix a few things that were literally completely unaccessible or undoable in vanilla Minecraft.
Like what?
It was... It's not, okay, I think teleporters was one of them. Don't quote me on that either, because I really don't fully remember any of these. But I just remember 4J Steve being like the main guy that like helped the modding community.
4J Steve blocked me, first of all.
4J Steve did?
Yes,
Was there a reason?
he blocked
or
me.
was it out of nowhere?
He talked about Brexit, and I opposed him, and he blocked me.
Brexit? What's Brexit?
Brexit.
Yeah, that's what I was
when
about
the
to
UK left the EU. It's a political thing. He posted a political thing, and I said, he was saying like everyone that's for the or against Brexit doesn't know what they're talking about, blah 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 blah. And he lists off these reasons, and I said, no, I don't really think so. Why don't you stick to fixing bugs because there's so many in your game?
Oh my God.
And he blocked me, and I was like, really? Okay.
That's great.
No one wants to get in a political debate with oPryze.
I mean, it wasn't even a debate. It was
Oh, yeah,
one
true,
reply.
Was it because the whole
You know
meme
what I mean?
thing?
No, he was totally serious about Brexit, about saying he was totally against Brexit, and I just said, well, hold on, there's more to it. By the way,
Fix it.
please just go back to fixing bugs because there's so many still.
Uh-huh.
And he didn't like that at all. So, but regardless, no, I think the only reason any changes were made to stuff like that was inadvertently. I think they're going to add features from Java or from Bedrock Edition, and they just copy and paste code over, and that's it. I mean, you take something like holographic text, it got removed, but they didn't purposely remove it. They copied over the armor stand code from Bedrock, and we know that because the same bugs that are in Bedrock are also in console. For example, there was an update where creepers were floating above the ground. Okay, that was a bug that was in Java, and it's now existed in console, and that only happens when they knowingly put in the bug themselves. Like that's how they. So, I think all these changes that happen is not because hey Stealthy tweeted that this thing. It's because this is just the new code,
I
and
agree.
it just happens to work like this.
Didn't they change the whole format of like several different things?
Yes, there are there are many changes of many different things. There's so many versions. Currently, we're on version 12.
So
the
maybe
chunk
a
format.
lot of the things that don't work anymore is just changed MBT structures, or do you think they were just completely indirectly patched?
Well, the MBT structures, again, as you know, are just for saving things,
Uh-huh.
right? So, literally what it is, whatever is in the game that's running in memory
Oh, it has to
is
work.
totally different. So in the game, things are running, and everything that's in RAM is not MBT. It's totally different. It's its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
The only point that MBT comes into play is when you click save. So that's all MBT is. It's just telling the game how it wants to save your last state that you were playing on. So if they decide to change something in game, the MBT structure might be identical. Likewise, if there's something in the game that's identical, the MBT structure might change. So they're totally separate things. So when we're messing with MBT, it's totally up to them how they want to interpret that and turn that back into something in game. For example, there were things that were in the game that did not used to be saved. Spider jockeys. You used to play with them in the game. As soon as you save your world and reload it, they'd separate because the riding tag didn't exist. The only reason the riding tag exists is to save that information that they were connected.
That's interesting. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's called serializing. It's where you take something that's in RAM and you save it to a disk. So you put it on your hard drive, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So they serialize it into something that can be read later. So that's why we can edit a save file and load it back up and it does something different. But if we write in something incorrectly, the game doesn't know what to do with it because it thinks that it wrote that NBT data, not us. So if it's not exactly how 4J says, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And that's why it's totally under their control how they want to do it. So
Yeah, there's
I mean,
pros and cons to it. Like, this is the final update, so even if there is issues, it's going to be the last issues we ever deal with. There's now an actual
Exactly.
full-on
And that's
sense
the reason
of consistency.
it's so great. because I can just rest easy for the most part. I can get all the stuff out, you know, say, okay, this is the last version we have. The format is going to stay the same. I can now make features in my program because I can say, okay, this is what it's going to be. It's never going to change. And I love that. I love that. I dread updates. Everyone loves updates. I just never want them to exist. I hate them because it's like a totally different game every time there's an update.
Yeah, that's true.
And what you probably don't understand is that chunks are not even stored in NBT format. Only like entities are. Everything else, not even NBT format.
Oh yeah, I saw that in
because,
your course. Well, part of it.
I mean, actually, I don't even think I said that.
Well, you showed the bytes and the advanced thing and the hex editor.
Right. Well, that's just the save game, but an individual chunk itself. In older versions, it used to be all NBT data, and as the versions went on, they decided, you know what? Let's throw away NBT. Let's do it like this. Totally different method. So now I have to say, do I convert this to a way that everyone knows in NBT, or do I show it how they have stored it? And I have to make that decision. Okay, I have to convert it to NBT, and I have to do that for every single freaking update because they change it. Now, this thing that was in NBT data is now in just a random string of bytes, and I have to figure out how to reverse it and bring it back into NBT so we can all edit it. So every time there's an update, they're chipping away at what's NBT, and I have to keep making decisions for people of how they want to view that chunk. And that's just so annoying. I've been just counting down the days that stops, and I can say, this is it, you know, and I can just be done, and I can move on.
Well, almost to we don't know it fully yet. They could add in a few new things.
They could.
But for the most part.
This update was the most important update because it now allows 2048 block IDs, I should say. So waterlogging blocks is actually done very differently than any other platform, and as a result of how they've done it, it cuts the amount of available block IDs from 4096 down to 2048. But either way, that's an increase over the previous 256. So I know this is all very technical, but the last update was good, and this also means that it's future-proof for PlayStation 4 as well, because I was always worried that they would change it to something super crazy because they're going to keep updating PlayStation 4, and anyway, it goes on, but I'm happy about it. And it's also good because of my converter, which I am working on. It will have a stable ground to work off of.
Well, did the update change the course of that in any way?
The converter?
Yeah.
I mean, by a day.
So it delayed it like a day? That's it?
Yeah. I mean, it just took... I just had to, like, trade... And here's the thing. This new format is the most advanced format that has ever been for console. Now, as far as I'm aware, I'm the only one that knows the format, other than Mojang themselves, obviously.
Oh, so you don't think Cynodon's on
Studios?
it yet? You don't think Cynodon's on it yet?
He blocked me, so I don't know. But I would assume he hasn't, solely because it took him like a year to figure out the middle format, the Title Update 17 format, and even then, after he put it in his software, he never actually knew everything about the format to the point where it was corrupting people's worlds because it was starting to put blocks that weren't there in places that they shouldn't be. Like, you'd be walking, next thing you know, half your things burned down because it put a lava cube somewhere in your world. And you never know that because it's rare, but it does happen. Whereas I had a full understanding of the format. I was actually telling Cynodon, you have a bug in your code. And no one believed what I said until later on they realized, oh wait, there actually is a bug.
He did the same thing with me. I would tell him there's bugs, and he'd say that I'm just like...
Really?
He would say I was lying, pretty much, to criticize his tool.
Yeah, I mean, if people tell me something like that, I take it very seriously. Because if one person has that problem, you can guarantee that there's 1,000 other people with the same exact issue that just didn't tell you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How do you go about things like that, Hype? Because you code too.
Oh, you code?
Well, he does.
That's what I was saying. I don't understand why people don't come to you when, like, only one person will come to you, but you know other people have had the bug.
Well, it's just...
Well, I'm okay with that. Because I would rather have one email than 1,000 emails.
Well, yeah, true.
That means is things slip underneath the cracks. You know, how many bugs are out there that no one told me about?
Yeah, a lot of people don't care enough to actually go out of their way to tell the dev. They'll just accept it as a bug and just try to find a workaround. It's usually how it goes.
That's very true. Yep. But no, so this new format came around, and I remember the first time I saw the Title Update 17 format. That's the first update that did away with NVT data, and it went right to something unique, and very, very unique, I should add. I've yet to see anything documented properly online. It's totally dedicated for console, and I was about to give up. I was still very early in my coding life, you know? This was back in the Boots program. This was like 5 years ago.
I remember that.
5 years ago.
It's like Christmas.
And you gotta keep in mind, you gotta keep in mind that I was not a programmer at the time. I learned coding just because I wanted to grow my YouTube channel, just because I could make a cool program that people would download. That's it. I had no aspirations to be a programmer. So when they do something like that, I now feel responsible that I have to figure out this format. And I mean, that was the craziest time of my life where I had to reverse that format. Crazy difficult, but I ended up figuring it out, and I was super proud of myself for that. Same thing with the GRF format. I'm still, I think, the only one that knows the way around it. Properly, I should say. And now this new format came around, and it's like take GRF and Title Update 17 and combine them together. I mean, it's just crazy.
Have you looked into it yet?
Crazy.
Or
oh no, it's done. I did it in an hour.
no, the GRF thing. Or is that
the new one. I haven't even looked at it. I've been super just busy on the other project. But no, this new format came out, and it was just like I could look at it, and it just goes to show you how much experience really does help you with things. Because I could just look at it, and struggling, but I figured it out. So now I can tell that, and I'm sure Synodont has a ton of experience now than he used to as well. But I know how tough it is, and at this point in time, my software is as far as I'm aware, the only software that actually reads it properly.
Do you ever plan to document it all, or you just keeping it to yourself forever?
I'm keeping it to myself. There's no real reason I should document it. Why would I do that? You know what I mean?
Well, you just you think of the internet as like a place where you can find literally anything, and I don't know. I would just imagine that.
Well, because think about it like this: there's no website. Do you think there's a website? How to make the universal Minecraft editor.com that I could go to build it?
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't. It took me 2 years of programming. I'm still working on it.
True.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I was to just say, here you go, here it is. Now, it being free alone is a big step for me. But to just straight up give out the source code, I could not.
Oh no,
do
not the
that.
source code. I was talking about like the information behind it, like the structure.
Well, same thing. Documenting it. I mean, because
Yeah.
source code. I mean, that's very similar. Pseudocode. You could write it in whatever language you want. But I just see no reason to.
Yeah, I was super surprised when you released it for free. I was like, I thought for sure it was gonna be at least like $20.
Well, everyone thought it was gonna be paid because I told people it was gonna be paid.
I was expecting $10, and I think I remember having $10 ready. I was like, yes.
I mean, I kind of regret making it free.
I was gonna pay for it too.
Well, I know they were, but I didn't because I got so much crap from people.
Oh, that was the whole rivalry thing.
I mean, the first couple programs I had, I mean, I went from like, oh, this guy makes the mod tool to this guy's the devil overnight because I asked for $5 on something that I worked hard on that didn't exist before. Wouldn't have existed if I couldn't sell it, and I just became the devil to people. And I mean, I understand why people are upset because they wanted it and they might not have the ability to buy things online. I totally understand that, but I'm no different than anyone else. I just played Xbox. I saw a mountain. I said, how cool would it be if I could get rid of that with a click? And I just started working on it. I had never coded in my life. My first program was a mod tool, and that's it. And so, these people that they think that it just appeared on my desktop one day and I decided to sell it. It didn't. I had to learn these things, and there's nowhere you could go that just told you how to do this stuff.
Yeah.
You had to figure it out.
The community really lacks
you've experienced this when you made your stuff. You make your PCK stuff. You know the most about those. And where did you go to learn that? There's nowhere you can go. Exactly. So it's sort of it's difficult for me to just say, here you go, and just release it. The reason I did that for the Universal Minecraft Editor was for two reasons. One is I can collect your email address, so that way I can hopefully sell you on my future software, right? So it's like, here you go. I will work this hard for 2 years, release it for free, with the exception that maybe I can message you about my future project, and you can unsubscribe at any time.
Oh yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's a good middle ground. Versus flooding it with ads, or trying to fight piracy every day, or I can just say, here's my email address. On top of that, it also, there's a part where it's like, you work for so long on something that you really put a lot of effort into it. As soon as you put a price tag on it, yes, you make money, but now you get way fewer downloads than if you released it for free. And there's a part of the pride of like, wow, I made something that I'm really proud of. I actually want people to use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a part that you want it to be free just because you want it to be used. See people use it.
You want it to be appreciated.
I mean, if you made it's like Noble. If you made YouTube videos and you worked really hard on them, they were great videos. They're like the best videos you've ever made, right? And you could make. Let's just throw out a number. Let's say you made $50,000 on these YouTube videos if you put a price tag on them. This is a perfect world, obviously, but you only got, let's say, 10 views a video.
Like obviously the money would be great, but like
the money would be great, but
it wouldn't feel
appreciated.
You would
hate to make videos.
Yeah,
it would just, it's like why would you do it? I mean, other than obviously the money, but like there's something about making something that you really care about, that you worked really hard on, and you just, all you want is people to see it. It's like making a piece of art, like a nice painting, and you want to show it to someone, but you can't.
They have to pay to
because
see
someone else bought it. Yeah, you know it's going in someone's attic. Are you really gonna be that happy to like make it? So it's that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I feel you.
Something that came to mind. You mentioned the email to be able to like get your future software out there. I thought besides the converter, do you plan to release any other future projects? Because
no.
Like, you really have expressed that you don't like coding and all that.
Right. Contrary to what people think, I hate it. I hate it, but I love when it's finished, and I love seeing people use it, and you know, there's that part of it. I love the finished project, and I think a lot of people can understand. No matter whatever you do, I mean, do you hate working out? Of course, but you love the finished product.
Yeah, it's that way with everything. The satisfaction that comes with it, kind of makes it all worth it. I mean,
there is that point, but let me tell you, when it's the last week and you're about to release it and you're working all day, every day straight to get that final thing out before the release date, you just want... I remember telling Caustic and Brabant, I was like, no matter what, force me to never make another program again. Ever. And then I went and made the Universal Microcontroller. So it's like, there's a part that you really love the finished product, but it's just a lot of work to get there. So the converter is something I haven't even talked about that much, but I've
seen a few tweets about it.
A couple. Oh my god! I wish I could show you. It's so good. It's so
UI
good.
And everything similar to UME.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I mean, the great thing is a lot of that I can copy over from the Universal Minecraft editor, because I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, but if you try to take off the border, the default Windows border, and you try to put a drop shadow on that, oh my gosh, it's so difficult. Now, I know in C# they've got one button that you turn on, now you have it. But if you try to do that in C++, it's crazy. And you'll notice, if you pay attention, there are so many programs that are like that don't have a shadow. Corporate, big name software that doesn't have a shadow because it's so difficult to figure out. It took me months. So now with this new program, I can just copy and paste it over. And I know it looks great. So all the pop-up windows, the colors, all of that is taken directly from the Universal Minecraft editor. And it looks amazing.
Cuts
and it's
your
got
workflow
this,
in half.
I mean, more than that, more than half. I spent so much time on the user interface of the Universal Minecraft editor. I would argue I spent more time on how it looks than the actual code and how it feels. I'm not even kidding, because it's so important. I made the Universal Minecraft editor. Yeah, I made the Universal Minecraft editor, and it was completely all default. All the default buttons, disgusting. And it was going to be such a hassle to make it look pretty. I was about to release it, and I showed it to Broadbent, and he said, you know what you have to do, right? And I'm like,
I thought you
I know.
did the UI
and
first.
I spent the next, no. I do that now because I know how awful it is later. And I know what to code now. Because before I would make the code, and then I'd go make the GUI, And after that changes, I now need to remake the code again. And that sucked. So it's like making the program 2 times because you keep having to redo it. So, but yeah, the converter, oh, it's just beautiful. I mean, I can't reveal enough right now because there's people that might just take my ideas. But it's just so simple to use. It's
simpler
just
than the old converter, or
it's not even close. It's just like disgusting. Like,
but the last one was like 3 buttons though. Besides, I mean,
there's less than that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And it not only is it so simple to use, but it has a settings section that I can't explain right now. It's totally unique. No software has ever done anything like this for Minecraft. No converter has obviously come even close. And let me tell you, it's gonna make Stealthy very happy. It's gonna make a lot of people very happy. And it's changed everything. And the great thing is, I've learned so much over my time making all these programs that I made 9 converters. It's actually more than that. It's actually about maybe like 15 if you do all the versions, you know. But I finished 9 conversions from memory. Just, I know what the format is, let me just do it. And finished 9 conversions in a month.
9 conversions? Like, you mean
conversions.
PC to Xbox One?
There are planned to be 25 conversions inside the Universal Microcontroller. That's not counting all the individual versions, right? Because Java Edition, for example, has multiple versions. Bedrock Edition has multiple versions. Console, multiple versions. Each one has a different chunk format with different things. So not counting that, just platform to platforms, there's 25 different conversion types. Okay. Now, go to the next layer. Each of those conversion types have their own different versions, because whether you're on this title update or that title update, the format's different. So if you really add everything together, how many conversions I actually have to code, let's see, if you just say there's 3 per edition, that's about what it is. That's 75 conversions, about that. And I have to code them all. So I've already done 9 of the 25, so you can convert that into, I think that's like 18. And I did that from memory in a month, in the best code I've ever written, and it looks beautiful, and it's simple with so much freedom.
Do you have a time frame?
I'm so excited. And that's the most I've ever told anyone about it. It's straight up gonna be the last converter you're ever gonna need. But there's still ways to go. But it's gotta be done quicker than the Universal Microcontroller. So, and that's where my focus is on.
Those 2 years are worth it, though, in my opinion, for the tool.
It could have been done sooner. It should have been done sooner.
From a user's perspective, it was worth it.
Yeah, but the high time was before that, you know, in console.
Well, the same
imagine if I had that in 2013. You know what I'm saying? I would be a god, but obviously I'm not, so.
Do you have a estimated price for this converter?
Yes, but I won't think I'll say that right now. But I'm doing it differently than I've done it in the past, because there were a lot of people that it just didn't make sense for them to buy it at the price point, or it didn't align correctly with me. Like, let me give you an example. Let's say someone bought the old converter. And remember, the old converter went from Xbox 360 to Java on one version, and that's it. And it went from, and back the other way. That's it. 2 conversions. That's it. And still had to use Horizon. Okay, it was that type of level, and it was $10, and it changed my life. But people bought it once, and I had to keep updating it 2 years after that. So it reaches a point where everyone that wanted it bought it, and now I'm working on it for free for the next 2 years.
Oh, so this is more subscription based.
It is more like that because it keeps me working on it to make sure that it's reliable. Because if I start losing interest in something, if it's no longer beneficial for me to kill myself working on something, it's very hard to wake up every day loving what I do, wanting to go work on something.
Yeah, I feel that.
So is it full-on subscription-based, or just kind of?
It's not finalized, but it's done differently than anything that's ever been done, and it's designed in a way that makes it it makes it make sense for all people that want it. So if you just want to do a quick conversion, there's an option for you. If you're a build team and you have a different set of things, there's an option for you. If you're a YouTuber, there's an option for you. That's sort of how it's designed. it's set up in a way that makes sense for whatever your use case. And on top of all of that, it makes sense for me then, because now I can keep working on it knowing that there's still going to be food on the table. So I buy my food, so it's like, you know, there's still going to be something there. So, but that's all I'm going to say about it right now, because I don't want to make any promises, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And have it not actually come out. But anyway, so that's about it with the converter. I don't want to bore anyone because it's obviously not out yet. So
no, I actually, on like the topic of like programming and all that, I remembered something, and me and you've already talked about this before, but I want to see if Hype gets it. You know that whole like whenever you get really into programming and coding for a while, it like starts messing with your head. It kind of changes your perspective, like how you see things, messes with your sleep, just like everything like that.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure how to explain that. You might be able to do a better job at it, oPryze.
Yeah, so it's like, for example, after a whole night of coding, my dog will start whining because he's got to go out, and I'll be not able to do that until I figure out why this function is freezing right here. And it's a made-up function with obviously no answer, but for some reason I just can't get out of bed because I gotta fix this. And then it reaches a point, and it gets so frustrated, I just have to be like, wait, there is nothing here. I need to get up and go let my dog out. And it starts interrupting everything you do. You look at your alarm clock, and you just see numbers on it, and you go, wait, but if I divide that by 3, what's the remainder? And you're like, wait, why am I even doing that? Does that happen with you?
I mean, no, not really.
It gets...
No, alright, well, I guess it's me and
I
Noble.
mean, I don't code that much anymore anyways.
Yeah.
I think it was
I don't have time really.
2 years ago, whenever what was I working on? It probably was the original Wii U Map Manager, I don't know, but I got really into coding. It was one of the summers, and the most I went, I think, was 21 hours straight. I don't even remember if I ate that day or...
That's nothing.
Well, I imagine for you, but...
I mean, I'm sure that's a lot. I mean, that's still a lot, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've gone... Because I have got a sickness where if there's a bug in my software...
Oh, yeah, you can't stop till it's fixed.
Oh, absolutely. It's not possible to sleep until it's fixed.
And that's how it was for me. I just... you had more on your plate, obviously, but... Like, I
have to set
everything.
time ahead. I have to set time ahead for when I'm going to fix bugs. I get a to-do list, and I'm always like scared, and I always have to tell people beforehand, okay, I'm going to be crazy. I mean, we're talking. I mean, I look like a gremlin. I'm just down here in the dark, and I got my robe on. I haven't showered, and I'm just coding, trying to figure out stuff. And it's just like, oh, I don't want anyone to see me like that because it's so crazy. But yeah, I can't go to sleep until I fix that bug. I mean, it's changed, and I was thinking about this the other day, and this happens with, I'm sure, with Hype, with what you do as well. Every coder, so much of programming is not typing.
That's true.
I mean, you think that you're writing a book. I'd rather write a book because it's not about the number of lines of code that you're typing. That's not the hard part. I mean, the hard part is finding ways to type with less lines of code.
Yep.
I mean, that's literally the challenge, is to write it in fewer lines of code efficiently. And more time is spent sitting still thinking about how to solve something versus actually typing it. I mean, I would sit on the couch upstairs for 2 hours doing literally nothing. My mom came and she's like, "Are you okay? Are you feeling sick?" And I'm like, "I can't fix this bug." Just trying to think about stuff.
It's
crazy.
It affects your mental, like, I wouldn't say long term, but like it either gets you badly or you just don't code at all. I don't know, but
here's a good analogy for people that might not code. Have you ever played a game so long, for like a week straight, that you walk outside, you start hearing gunshots and seeing T-Rexes and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's actually a perfect analogy.
Well, I mean, like, for example, my sister played Call of Duty like intensely for like 4 weeks, to the point where every time she walked outside and saw a plane, she thought she had to go like shoot it down. That was just her first reaction, to go shoot it down. You know what I'm saying? I only after really long gaming sessions. It's like that, but for coding, where you'd be walking and then you'd see something and you go, "Oh, I gotta code that," and you're like, "Wait, no, I don't." It's just like that.
In my my math class is where it got to me. This was my freshman year, so I remember being in, I believe it was algebra, and I was looking down at the assignment, and I always fell asleep in this class, so it wasn't really anything new. But like, you know, when you're passing out and your head's like bobbing back and forth, right as you pass out, you like sling your head back up.
Yeah.
I remember like as I would like enter that temporary like passing out real quick, what the last thing I'd see on the paper, like all the numbers and stuff, it would in some way form to like code, and I don't even know how to explain it because there never was any actual code, and it seeped into like everything. Me waking up, like oPryze said, like it would be me trying to wake up.
Waking up is
there'd be
just
a problem,
awful.
like, oh, I gotta solve this or do this, and
you ever had
can't.
your alarm go off and you just have no idea where you are?
Yes.
And you just like you can't even like function. Like I have that alarm that makes you do a math problem before you can turn it off.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd sit there, I'd stare at 2 + 2 going, what do I do? Because you're just so out of it. It's like that, but instead of that, it's code. You wake up and you're just like,
you gotta solve a function to make the alarm stop.
Right, exactly.
You
It
can't.
just makes no sense because you just press the button.
And eventually you learn how to snap out of it, kinda. You eventually realize that there's nothing
Well,
actually there.
I just don't do those really long sessions of coding.
I haven't even coded in a while.
I found out that if I have a problem with a bug or something, I work on it and then I force myself to go to sleep, and then when I wake up, I always have the answer. Sleep is magic for solving problems. If you have a problem, just go to sleep. Your brain works overtime. You know how much energy your brain uses while you're asleep for 9 hours? I mean, there's a reason it's doing that. It's using up valuable energy. You know how much energy it takes to keep your brain running? It's like one of the first things that your body uses up. It's like, if you're sleeping and your brain is doing all that work, it's doing that for a reason, and I'm telling you, it's for solving problems. Because it's amazing how you'll wake up in 15 minutes, you go, oh, okay, I'll just do that. So yeah, sleep, it all comes back. We come right back around to sleep schedule. It all comes down to your sleep schedule.
Yeah, we started this.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Do you understand what we're saying?
Get good sleep.
Yeah, it's very true though. It's seriously true.
Oh yeah, Blake, does that, like, the analogies we gave and stuff, have you actually had any of that when it comes to programming or coding at all? Or
no,
it's completely unrelatable?
Yeah, I don't do super long encoding sessions like that.
We probably should keep talking about that then, because probably like 90% of the people are like, what the heck are they talking about?
They're gonna think we're I felt crazy when this happened at first.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah.
I think it was me that mentioned it to you, and I was.
And then I was like, oh yeah, that's
when you
just
related
that.
to me, like, it made me.
Yeah, that's normal.
It made me feel not as crazy.
Dude, it's like the end of Spider-Man. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it's very similar to the end of the Spider-Man game. Which, by the way, I did a 100% completion of. Finished it yesterday.
I saw your tweet.
Yeah, 100% completion. This is story, minigames, everything, all the secrets, unlockables, everything. All the trophies, platinum and everything.
What if Forte Steve tweeted you
that.
and said, like, maybe you should get back to fixing bugs?
Wow, this is quite a podcast. 2 hours and 40 minutes.
We tackled everything from like YouTube trends to real life stuff.
Yeah, I think you have to make more episodes, my friend.
Yeah. So, what do y'all think about this? Anything else we should talk about, bring up? Any stories or?
No, I think we've taken up enough people's time. I think they've ate 7 meals at least.
Yeah.
I would have stretched out 4.
I guess I just want to thank everyone for if anyone actually stuck around and watched this. That's just really cool.
Thank
I watched
you very
this all the way
much.
to the end because I know that's a commitment for anyone. You know, with all the stuff that's going on today, with all the homework and all everyone's jobs, you know.
Yeah.
It's just thank you for sticking around.
Yeah, if anyone made it this far, #sleep in the comments.
Yeah.
Just so we can see. Goes all the way back around. Sleeps. Do you have anything to add, Blake?
No.
All right. Well, thank you, Jack, for inviting me on this lovely podcast. I love podcasts. I gotta watch myself because I can talk for like 3 days straight.
Hey,
so,
you're welcome anytime.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming on the first
I will
episode.
take you up on that. Be careful because I will take you up on that. So anyway.
So I guess we'll end it there, guys. I'm not too sure about how I'm gonna go about this. Like, so far, I was thinking like releasing an episode every 1 or 2 weeks, but might be weekly. Might not always be as long. It just depends.
Mm-hmm. Well, the episode 1 has got to be special, obviously. So you gotta.
Yeah, you gotta start it off right.
Right.
And I think this was the perfect way to start it off. We tackled a lot of subjects in a good way, I believe. I think there was a lot of good conversation in there. Actually, maybe a lot of good clips too. If I was to do something similar to what H3 does with the separate channel thing you told me. Like off of this podcast alone, there's like so many different subjects that can be compiled into like its own little 8-minute clip. For those of the viewers that didn't make it this far, I think there was a lot of interesting subjects all the way in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, if you guys have anyone in mind you'd love to see on the podcast, just make sure to let me know down in the comments or Discord or whatever way you have to contact me. But with all that said, I believe that's gonna be it for us today. Any final words, guys?
Thanks for watching, and be sure to like the video, obviously. And
you won't dislike it, no balls.
Subscribe, or dislike it if you dislike it. I'm gonna dislike it, Noble. Just because you
alright.
No. And then, I guess that's it.
Alright, #sleep. Bye, guys.